Welcome to the Book Party Podcast.
Join us as we journey into the world of books with Michael T.
Prepare to be captivated by engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and fascinating stories. You'll discover new adventures and gain insight into the creative process of the authors themselves as they share their struggles and accomplishments. Now let's hear from Michael T.
This is Michael T. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a powerful and inspiring episode of the Book Party Podcast, where we bring you stories of resilience, courage, and transformation. Today, we have a remarkable guest who embodies the strength and determination it takes to break free from the darkest of situations. Shavonne Bulmer, an incredible survivor, has graced us with her presence. Shavonne's journey from the depths of an abusive relationship to a life filled with hope and happiness is nothing short of extraordinary. Shevon, we are honored to have you with us today. At 34 weeks pregnant, Shevon bravely decided to escape an abusive relationship, taking that first step towards a new life. Today, 7 years after breaking free, she is a loving mother of two beautiful girls and happily married, a testament to her strength and resilience. Shavonne's book, Get Out and Stay Out, is a raw and gripping account of her journey. In her own words, being trapped in a web of a psychopath is an experience too soul-crushing and frightening that she wouldn't wish upon anyone, not even her worst enemy. In the pages of this courageous memoir, Shevonne shares the harrowing tale of how she emotionally, physically, and mentally drained, reduced to an empty shell of her former self. She lost her identity, dreams, and will to live as she struggled to survive within the twisted and silken web woven by her abuser. Broken free from such a web is no easy feat. Shevonne faced doubts about her worth and strength, while the deceit and lies she endured made her question the very existence of truth itself. The journey to freedom resembled a battle between a fragile butterfly and a cunning spider, each fighting for the dominance in a web of isolation and deceit. Shevonne's turning point came at 34 weeks pregnant when her love for her unborn child gave her the strength to escape the clutches of her abuser. She soared to safety, but the road to recovery was long and challenging. With the unwavering support of her close family and friends, Shevonne embarked on a path of healing, therapy, and rediscovery. Today, Shevonne stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Her abuser's web still lingers, waiting to ensnare another victim. Through her book, Shevonne aims to raise awareness about the immense challenges faced by those seeking to escape abusive relationships and the difficult journey to rebuilding their lives. Her story is a beacon of hope, a reminder that no matter how dark the web may seem, there is always a path to freedom and light. Shevonne's message is clear. Don't give up, be kind to yourself, and know that you are doing your best every step of the way. Join us as we dive deep into Shevonne's incredible journey, the lessons she's learned, and the hope she offers to others facing similar challenges. Shevonne, thank you for sharing your story and your book with us. So, Shevonne, why don't you take it from here, fill in any blanks a bit, and tell our listeners about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm Shevonne, and I am an abusive relationship survivor. Like how you so kindly and amazingly introduced my backstory at 34 weeks pregnant, I got the courage to be able to step out in an extremely abusive relationship and change my circumstances because I didn't want my daughter growing up thinking that this was normal. And I had a family that I could lean on, and I restarted my life in Cape Town, restarted my whole self-identity, my whole self-love journey. And I can happily say that 7 years afterwards, I'm successfully integrated back into society, where I'm able to communicate to people without having panic attacks, without having anxiety attacks, and I'm able to mother my children, love them, in a loving relationship. And self-love is definitely a everyday practice, but I am getting better at it every day.
It's absolutely fantastic that you've made it this far.
Thank
And
you.
I got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
On your publishing journey, did you go through the self-publishing route, or did you find an agent and agency route, or something in between, like a hybrid publisher? How did you do your publishing route?
I did it through Kindle self-publishing, because the book was so rawly written of my own experience and a lot of raw feeling from myself. It was very important to me that I was very hands-on with my book. So I felt that the self-publishing was a better route for me, because I didn't lose any of the authenticity that I wanted to bring through the story of telling the rawness of my journey.
So did you do everything yourself, or did you
Absolutely
collaborate?
everything. No, everything. I wrote it. I edited it. I designed the cover. I published it myself. It's 100% me, that book.
So it's more of an indie
Yes.
publishing than
Yes.
anything else.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because indie publishing is a little bit more difficult usually than being able to collaborate. Because when I did my books, I had to collaborate because I knew nothing about formatting. You know, I didn't know those types of things. And when it came to the cover design, of course, my cover design is a little bit different than yours.
Yes.
I tried my first cover design, and what a disaster that was. So I had to reach out and have a cover designer do it. And so after that first book, I was able to build a team, and I built mine on Fiverr.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to build a team for a cover designer, an editor, a formatter, and the different things that I needed. So that by book 2, by book 3, and I'm almost done with book 4 now, these things goes really, really fast when you have the right team in place. And that's why I did that. And I still self-published, but I did that teamwork to get the book where it needed to be, and then self-published from there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because I'm in the process of writing the second book, which is a sequel to my first book. So I'll definitely be looking into some support with Fever. Because if, just that support does make the world of a difference to an author, because just to get your book marketed and out in public already on its own is such a challenge.
Well, because any way you do it, no matter how you publish, you still have to do the marketing. Doesn't matter which way you do it.
Yeah.
So you still have to do the marketing. Have you thought about audio?
Yes, it's just in South Africa, audio isn't really available. So I haven't really bridged the gap yet how I can make audio available for the other countries. Because when I wanted to do it through Amazon, they said because I'm in South Africa, they're not able to process an audiobook.
Right. Well, I'm doing mine all audio, but fortunately I have a setup where I can do it myself.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I'll be doing my own narration on my audio for my books. So, but I still have to have all the back support with the audio engineers and things like that. So I went through a company called Amplify Audio.
Okay.
They have a special program available, they have different programs, I should say, available for different needs. And they actually took a payment plan, luckily for me. So that was really good too. So Amplify Audio worked out for me very well.
I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah, that was just one that I found. Plus, the royalties with them are much better than royalties with anybody else, and they can do it globally.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter where you live.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Yes.
In writing this book, what would you consider your worst author?
When I had to write about a specific abusive incident in the past, which was very traumatic for me, because when I was diagnosed with PTSD, so after obviously going through therapy, and there are certain trigger points when it comes to memories. and writing about that specific incident, which was being locked in a cupboard for 3 days, it triggered me. So I had to contain a lot of the emotions that were happening. I had to go through my exposure step therapy so that I wouldn't go into full-blown anxiety. So it took me about 7 hours to be able to calm down, to be able to write again. But that was definitely the worst. But it was important that I got it on paper so people understood exactly the type of journey that I went through.
Well, was any of this writing, any of it therapeutic at all for you?
Yes. So the creative pieces where I use metaphors to bring across a certain type of emotion or a certain situation, for example, like the Canyons of Depression, where I wrote about depression and how I felt being depressed. That was very therapeutic because through creative writing, I was processing the emotion that I was going through.
Okay, well, at least you got a little bit of therapeutic out of the way doing it. You know, that
Yes.
helps too.
It was also a
So-
release and a way to help process the trauma, if that makes sense.
What I would like to go to next is what I call an epiphany moment. And this moment takes place when you're not actually writing. You can be doing anything else. You could be playing with the kids. You could be going for a walk. You could be driving. You could be cooking, anything else. And all of a sudden, it's like a bright light bulb burst in your head, this wow, aha moment. That needs to be in my book. And you got to grab something, write it down right now. You got to get it on paper, you know, to make sure that that gets in your book as the thought hits. You have moments like that?
I do. It's actually more with my creative writing. So I have spurs of moments where I might have a thought or I might have a memory and I'm wanting to know how to put that on paper. And then it will just come to me all of a sudden of this is the metaphor I must use, or this is how I need to link this creative piece to the other creative piece. And then it's a case of where's my pen and paper so that I can jot this down as quickly as possible before it goes away.
Well, it's not just before it goes away as well, but if you wait too long, it fades to where it's not as vivid as it
Yes.
was when you thought of it.
Yes.
So you want that vividness, I guess you would call it, of the thought when it happened as much as you can get it. So either write it down or you're talking to your phone or whatever you can do
Yes.
to get it right then.
Yes.
That's what you want.
To capture,
So what is the one? Oh, go ahead.
to capture the spontaneity.
Correct. What is the one thing that you're the most fired up about today? Share something excited that you're excited about right now.
Well, I'm very excited the fact that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, because it's a perfect opportunity to be able to show others who are in situations that I was in, that it can be done. You can get to the other side. And yes, it's a long journey. Yes, it's a difficult journey. It's not supposed to be easy, but you're able to do it. So I'm a part of a lot of women empowering talks at work. Every morning we have groups where certain topics are spoken about, and I've put up my hand to talk about getting out of abusive relationships as well as domestic violence awareness relationships.
This is Michael T. We invite you to go to bookpartypodcast.com and hit that subscribe tab on top and scroll down to the icon of your choice, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or Odyssey, where you can download and follow us there. Please leave a review. Don't forget to sign up for our weekly video newsletter and get the latest information on our upcoming shows. Now, Shevon, we're going to enter the lightning round.
Yes.
The lightning round is 4 pointed questions for 4 pointed answers.
Okay.
Okay? So before you became an author, before you wrote this book, what was holding you back from becoming an author or writing the book earlier?
The fear of talking about it, a lot of an emotion that someone experiences when getting out of an abusive relation is bringing light to the situation, because you almost feel like your abuser is going to pop out of nowhere and beat you all over again. So it was processing that I'm not in the web anymore, and I can write down what's happened because I am in a safe space.
Okay. What was the best advice you had ever received once you started writing?
Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Mm-hmm.
We get answers on that one like, you can't edit an empty page. So you're right. Let it flow. Get it out there.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter what comes out. Just get it out.
Share one of your habits or personal habits that contributes to your success.
I think they often say there's a mindset of, do you see the glass half empty or half full? I definitely adopted the mindset of, there's no question that the glass is half, whether you look at it half full or half empty.
That is a point.
But the opportunity is, how do I fill it?
No, that's a good point to make, because I hadn't heard that one before.
So that's my take on life.
That's a good way. How do you fill it up? Share an internet resource with our listeners that you use when you write.
So I know probably everyone says ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is a really quick, good reference to be able to get fast research on a very broad topic of more or less how should one approach a topic to be able to write it in a broad-based way to reach the broadest audience, so to speak. So I kind of used that to be able to see what should my style of writing be, to be able to start having a broad base of people being interested in my book. But then as my book starts writing, it starts becoming more me, more authentic, more emotional. And hopefully by the time it gets to that point, the readers have actually got to know who I am through the book, that they want to read further because they've kind of got a piece of me.
Okay. Well, Shevon, we're now going to enter into what we call the grand finale.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like you to do is tell our listeners all about your book.
My book, Get Out and Stay Out. So that book has actually been written over quite a long period of time, in the sense of all the creative pieces that are in that book, like the Canyons of Depression or the Phantom of Music. Those pieces I actually started writing when I was going through therapy, and a certain emotion came up, or a certain thought, or a certain memory, or there was something I was struggling with. And creative writing helped me process it. It helped me to be able to build the puzzle in a way that made sense for my brain and my emotions and my spirit to be able to process it together, because all of us humans are made of three. Whether we believe that there's something higher power than us or not, is the fact is we have the spiritual side, we have the mental side, and we have the emotional side. And creative writing helped me to get those three aligned. And then as time went on, I started getting the courage to be able to link the pieces together to say, this is the sequence of events that happened that made me feel this way, and that's why I wrote Canyons of Depression. Or these are the sequence events that happened that made me feel that way, and that's why I wrote The Phantom of Music. So it started to place the smaller pieces of the puzzle together in the bigger piece for my whole journey to sort of make sense from a treasure map perspective, if that makes sense.
It does. Well, it does make sense. And Shevon, we thank you so much for being here with us today, opening up to us, and I'm sure that our listeners appreciate this too. Shevon's book is available on Amazon. And again, this is Michael T. To all our listeners, I would invite you to go to bookpartypodcast.com, hit that subscribe tab on top, then scroll down to the icon of your choice where you can find us on one of your favorite platforms, such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or Odyssey. You can download and follow us there. Please leave a review. Don't forget to sign up for our weekly video newsletter to get the latest information on our upcoming shows. Until next time, keep reading, learning, and discovering the world through pages of a good book. Book Party Podcast is owned and powered by MTM Legacy Publishing, LLC. This is Michael T. signing off.
You must not miss our next episode as we delve into a world of inspiration, entertainment, and thought-provoking insights. Join Michael T. on the next Book Party Podcast and experience a new adventure, a new story, and a complete immersion into the world of Pages Unveiled, Chronicles of the Writing Journey.